What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Classic Physique Radio. I think this is episode, what did I call this? Episode 8. All right, we're on number 8 here. I'm trying to at least keep track of this because I've done a terrible job doing that on my regular podcast.
That's okay.
So we got Ben Hodge on and we got Connor Kovacs on. You guys work together, do you not?
We do.
Yeah, I thought so. So, two close friends, both pros in classic physique. Ben had an interesting story from this year, and then Connor is on the hunt to climb the ranks of the IFBB Pro League. Now, I know you had like a little bit of time away. What was going on in the time between like the last time you competed in this year?
Man, I think the easiest answer to that is I got married and I enjoyed life. Like the I've
Amazing
thought
how that
about
works.
yeah, right. I've thought about this answer a handful of times since I got back on stage this summer. And realistically, man, like I built my coaching business, I got married, I enjoyed life, and all the while I was still doing the bodybuilder stuff. I was eating the meals, I was taking the steroids, doing the gym, but wasn't in the right mental space to be like, you know what, let's pursue this
Yeah.
aggressively with what it requires.
Yep.
But that changed this year, so here we are.
What he really means is I wasn't around him enough.
Also true.
You weren't there to make him look small. That's the thing, is he felt like he was still big.
Very
He thought he was
literally.
still big that whole time. That's the problem.
No, he's never small.
The
I know.
craziest thing is it wasn't until maybe like this 2 weeks ago or this week where I was like, okay, wait, I'm definitely substantially bigger than Ben. But now it's like it's a 40-pound gap. That's how.
But it wasn't like that a few months ago.
Well,
but that's what it took. It took a
that's
30 to 40-pound gap before I was like, you know what? Okay, cool. We kind of the same size now.
it's the magic of Mike Nassif, man. How you liking working with him?
Dude, it's been great. Honestly, it's simplistic. Like
Yeah.
there's really nothing complicated. We're not reinventing the wheel.
Yep.
Um, I think the one thing that's been the biggest catalyst for me was like I came to this and was like, hey, Mike, I want to do this as a professional and I want to do the necessary as a professional. And like I was 24 hours post show when I was talking to him, and I was like, yeah, I didn't do cardio my entire prep. Put cardio in. I want cardio in my off season. I want cardio in my reverse. I know it's gonna make me better. It drastically has. Um, but it's been simple. It's been good.
Yeah. Isn't it funny how the best coaches are the simplest?
Yeah.
You know, like we hear people argue back and forth about these crazy fucking protocols and this, that, and the other, and all these fancy things. And it's like the reality of it is you're all doing the same thing. We're just pitching it differently.
Just about. Really, it really is. I'd say the other thing too is like I walked into it where I was ready to be
Mhm.
an athlete for him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I came to the table with that mentality on the athlete client side.
Mhm.
So I think that's also why we've had such insane success over the past, I think it's been 9 weeks now post show. I check in tomorrow. I'm crossing my fingers. I'm gonna break over that 270 threshold for the first time ever. But like I feel good. I feel healthy. The health markers are good. My lab work came back 3 weeks ago, and you wouldn't even have thought I prepped like at all based
That's
on
good.
what the numbers look like. Um, so yeah, all good stuff.
Yeah.
Where's your weight now? Because 2 days ago it was like 263 or something.
It was 265 this morning. I gained a half a pound after 7,000 calories yesterday. I gained half a pound.
Jesus, that's the highest my weight ever got was 265. So I never cracked into that 270.
This is the longest I've ever held 260 plus. I've been up here several times, but it usually would only last like a week. And then I would get sick or something would
Yeah.
hurt or just nothing would fall in the right places or I was
Right.
taking too many drugs because that's also a possibility.
Yes, it is. What? Since this has been a thing lately, how tall are you? Actually, measured in, and what is your weight cap for classic physique?
I have probably been one of the only athletes in all of the IFBB NPC history to get measured in at 6'1" and a quarter every single show,
There you go.
except for two where I was measured in at 6'1" and a half.
You got
So
measured in taller. Interesting.
yeah, and even that extra quarter inch though doesn't matter.
So what is that? What is that weight cap?
242. I have to be
a quarter.
I have to be the same size as Chris Bumstead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good luck.
yeah, yeah, that's gonna be fun, man. But I mean, the thing is at least you don't have to like train with fucking training wheels on. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you don't have to train like really light and whatnot to try and fit into a weight cap. So I mean, what did you compete at in Texas?
I was 235 on stage.
Huh.
Uh, my lightest though during the prep was 231.
Okay.
So we speculate just on that. That's an 11-pound gap. But realistically, for heading into Tampa and Texas, I probably could have squeaked out like 4 or 5 more pounds of conditioning and fat loss just based on what I looked like on stage and knowing what we could have done further in the prep,
Yeah.
like cardio. Um, but I would have sacrificed so much of the look if I pushed it that deep.
Yeah.
So we're speculating I speculated 15 pounds of muscle to grow substantially or reasonably. Mike said 20. So we're gonna see what happens at the end of all this.
You know, Mike knows what he's doing, so you might want to just listen to him. You know what I mean?
Oh, dude, I'm eating the food, I'm eating the food, doing the training, sending the training videos, and like it's working. So I'm just gonna keep doing the do.
There he is. What up, Jarek?
What up, boys?
Have you
So,
ever met
H, man,
Connor and Ben
I
before?
don't think we've met.
Yeah,
I don't
I
think
was
so.
literally
I don't
asking
think
that
I met
question.
Ben either.
Nice to meet
nice
you, brother.
to meet you.
Nice to meet y'all, boys.
So Connor and I met when I competed last in 2023. We had spoken before, but he was friends with Jordan Hutchinson prior to that. And we stayed at the same Airbnb that weekend. And then Ben is one of Connor's, they coached together. So that's how I know them. But
Oh,
so we were just talking with Connor about his season and going forward into the year, but Ben actually has an interesting story speaking about the height and weight stuff. So Ben also did Texas Pro, but Ben ended up having to do Texas Pro in the Open.
I
I
did
remember
it.
that. I did see
Did
that.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did
So
see that.
let's talk about that, man. What happened there?
Oh man. I think honestly it was about a week ago I finally recovered from all that. It was a lot. I mean, you
Jeez.
do a prep, you plan one thing, and then at the last second you're like, wait, I can't compete. Like, so yeah, I mean, I just handled it as well as I could, but it really threw me around. But anyway, the height and everything, I was off for specifics. I was off by, I think he said an eighth or a fourth or something like that. I don't really know. But last year I went pro. My qualifier for the pro card and the pro card show and the pro debut Hurricane Pro was the same height. It was 6 foot and a quarter. I got 3 times in a row last year. So what am I actually? I don't really know, to be honest. Like, I really don't. Last time I checked in high school, it was like 5'11 and 3/4, but I don't know. Okay, I got those three last year. That's all I can tell you.
So this is funny. So I interviewed Branch Warren yesterday for my regular podcast, and we were talking about the height thing, and I was asking him some questions about that. And I told him, I was like, look, the reason, because he was like, everybody should know their height, like you should just know it, and it is what it is. And I told him, I was like, look, man, like this is why things happen. You're dehydrated, interstitial fluid, all this stuff. He goes, man, fuck that shit. Oh, that's all bullshit. I just couldn't help but just start
I wish it
busting
was.
out laughing, man.
Well, I
But
mean, when you're an open competitor, you don't really
yeah,
understand.
They don't
yeah,
give a shit.
yeah, right.
I mean,
Yeah, I
shit,
just thought
when he
it was
when
the
he was
best. It was the best response from Branch. It's like it's what I would have expected. So it just made me
Right.
laugh. But
All,
when
all
he
the
was
open guys
competing
have the
too,
same
there wasn't
response
any.
too.
what was that?
Go ahead, man.
I was gonna say all the open guys have the same response too. They're like, just make your height. What's the problem? What's
They're
the
like,
Right,
or they're like, just get in shape. It's like,
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
literally,
get in
like
shape
I
like 3
am
weeks
in
ago.
shape.
yeah.
I'm flat. Like I'm flat as a board. You don't
So
understand where I'm at.
so with that height difference from Texas, or from the shows prior to,
Yeah.
it was Hurricane Pro and then Texas. What was the weight cap difference between the two?
So for 6 foot and a quarter, it's 234, and I had to make 227 for Texas because they heighted me at so they heighted me at 5'11, 7/8, 5'11, 3/4, and then 5'11 and 1/4 an hour and a half later. So
He shrank in an hour and a half.
Couldn't tell you. I don't know, but I didn't make it. And so at that point, it was like I'd have to drop 5 pounds, I think, to make the 227. The shitty part is, if I had known, I was 229 that morning. So I could have made it if I knew, but we were
Just didn't
shooting for
eat.
234 because we were pretty sure we were safe. So it was just like everything against me. And it's okay. I had a great time. And like, it really was actually a really nice experience. Um, and then anyway, we'll get into more of it.
Yeah, I do want to ask, like, what was going through your head when you were up there? You actually, you know what I'm saying, in that
Yeah, yeah.
class.
That part
How
was actually really fun. Like I've never really been one to be like, oh, I'm too small. I don't really feel like I'm big enough for this. I don't really care because, like, even from the first few shows that I did way 10 years ago, sure, you're a little scared backstage, but you quickly realize that the people back there that you're looking at don't quite look how you think when they're actually on stage. So I don't know how big anyone is, so I don't really care. So it was super awesome, honestly, to sit up there and do my thing and just actually present something, because that was supposed to be, everything for this year, and it kind of got thrown off because there was an extra day thrown into that because open was a day later. So it's a whole other 24 hours within the peak to manage, and it wasn't as tight as I wanted it to be or as tight as it could have been, but it was an okay look. I'm okay with it. And overall it was a pretty cool experience to kind of watch Jordan and the other top four do their thing in front of me and then get my chance to do mine. And just the whole thing all together was really nice.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
ask
really
you.
nothing bad about it.
I know you mentioned it already, but I was gonna ask. That was my second question. Like, do you feel like that was a really good look, probably one of your best looks, or do you feel like you could be a little bit tighter?
No, it definitely wasn't my best. I think it was my best in terms of balance, size, fullness, but sharpness, definitely not. Like I can go back to my Hurricane debut, and that was way tighter.
Yeah, because I seen you at
Um,
Hurricane.
Is
I was like, yeah,
this the
yeah,
hurricane?
That's
that's
Atlanta.
Florida Pro, I
no,
believe, right?
What's
this is
Florida?
Florida. So
Oh,
I did Atlanta after Texas, and then I did Florida to finish.
which one is this?
That's crazy
This
because
is
that was
Atlanta.
This is
exactly
Atlanta.
that
That's
was my
Yeah,
crazy.
lineup of shows last year. I did
yeah, it's
Atlanta and then I did Florida.
yeah, it's a lot. And I don't think I've ever done that many back to back and hung in there that long. Going from Texas to Atlanta, uh, I mean, I think it was like 6 days or something.
Yep.
Mhm.
We flew back Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, I was home. Wednesday, we flew to Atlanta. And then just through all of that and still not even realizing what happened with Texas, it was just too much for my head. And then Atlanta just fell apart. Like it wasn't, I didn't put any back shots up because no one wants to see that. It just wasn't what
Hey,
I wanted.
usually if you don't
And
post back shots,
yeah,
if you're
like,
in the game, you already know what's up. But
yeah,
as far as Atlanta goes, because I did Atlanta last year, and my experience was dope. I mean, I put on a hell of a routine. I did the routine to Post Malone and blew the roof off that place, man, and left people crying and emotional and shit. But the only thing I didn't really appreciate was one, how they took care of the athletes, but two, like the stage was like a almost like a basketball court.
yeah.
I was
Um,
like, yeah, the flooring was like weird, so I
Sketchy.
didn't
yeah.
understand, and then the lights weren't the best. So how did you feel about the whole setup and production of Atlanta Pro this year, since you were actually there, step on stage, and
Yeah.
actually experienced it?
I think honestly, everything from what I remember, because I was in the clouds for sure. From what I remember, it was all ran pretty well. The only thing's the lighting. It was
Yeah,
just really bad.
Yeah.
And on the sides, which is where I was because I was off, you couldn't really see what the people on the sides look like. And you can see a drastic difference from left and right to the middle of the stage. And I don't want to spread rumors or anything, but I was looking at the lights and I wasn't even really sure if they were all on at one point. I don't know if they shut them off, like they very well could have. Maybe they were on when I was up there, but it was just weird for lighting. But in terms of like how Linda Murray addressed us and how everything ran like that, I didn't have too much of an issue with it on
yeah.
that part.
Well, I gotta say, man, like your shape and structure looked awesome in the open. Like the look and stuff aside, whether it was your driest or tightest or whatever, like I think I talked to Connor about it. I was like, he looked really fucking good in that lineup. Like if you just put on a shitload of size, you'd be a really good open bodybuilder. But it's a
Well,
matter of whether you
sure.
wanted to fucking
somebody
do
was an
that.
open bodybuilder at one point.
I
What's
was,
that?
yeah,
Ben was?
Yeah, he was an open guy for the longest time until he made the
yeah,
switch
Oh
to
shit.
classic for his pro card.
yeah.
Oh shit.
I did. Oh God, I don't even remember the years anymore.
Well, I mean,
Um,
230 something pounds on stage is a pretty good size individual, you know? So like the fact that you have that kind of weight cap for class, like I don't even remember. I think they had me in at like 5'11", 5'10 and a half, whatever. So it was like 209. It's like there's zero chance I was going to look the way I needed to at 209 with my structure.
yeah, yeah. And I mean that even like if we want to get into it, that's a whole other thing too. Like, I see all kinds of physiques. Oh, this guy's off, that guy's off, he sucks, he's fat. Like, people don't know when you're flat, you can look fat.
Yeah.
Okay. And you can be in shape and not be showing any of it.
Yeah.
And people are going to call you out for it, but they don't know.
Prime example, not classic, but Keone.
Yep.
I love
Yes,
you. I
yes,
love you to
yes.
death, Keone. But
Love you too, bro.
he was flat. He was flat at prejudging.
Yeah.
And
That's
that is
what I
the
thought,
only
yeah.
reason that people were like, "Oh, I think Shaun's got it." What? Okay, that's a harsh statement. Shaun looked fucking incredible, and I talked to Shaun
Yeah.
about it. Amazing change from 24 to 25.
What?
But
Crazy.
even with Keone being flat, it was still to me it's Keone's show, right? But Shaun did look amazing. But if he had come in to the point where he was able to be full the way he needs to be, that's a different fucking story. And we saw that at the night show, right? But let's think about it. I know personally because he told me from his mouth that he was 217 on Monday. So by Friday, he had lost 6 pounds. So you can't tell me that like trying to get that back on last minute was an easy task. You know what I mean?
They
Oh,
weighed,
definitely not. And then we
because
also got to. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Connor.
sorry, they weighed in on Thursday, right?
Yes, because
So
they
they
competed
had a full
Friday.
gotcha.
Yeah,
So they had a full 36 hours to fill out.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and still 6 pounds is a lot though on a
Yeah.
short physique like that. So I get that.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
And the amount of
and
muscle he has too.
we apply that to classic guys. We had 10 guys miss weight cap. 5 of them made it back in. So how many of them suffered and lost some of their look because of that, you know?
Mhm. Yeah.
I
And then we
mean,
got to consider too the midsection.
mm-hmm.
How many
Yeah.
midsections were tampered with because of the short window of trying to cram all the carbs in and trying to fill out in a short period of time.
I'm not sure how many
Keone
like
was a prime example too.
I'm not sure how many podcasts and stuff you guys listen to, but I always like listening to people's opinions after the shows and stuff. And the common denominator that I've been hearing when people talk about Classic for Mike not winning is he was downsized. People liked the bigger, fuller look. And when he had to make 204 for his weight, people didn't really like it quite the same. And like it didn't have the same depth that it did before where it was against Bumstead, you know? So now it's like, okay, what happens to these physiques as they start to really teeter on not being able to make weight, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, and it sucks. I mean, you're kind of put in a position where you either diet yourself down to shit or you put on 40 pounds. So it's like, do I want to compete? Like, if you love competing and you want to do it every year, you won't be able to. You got to take some time off and grow if you want to keep doing it. Because
Yep.
if you keep sucking down and presenting something that's not your best, you're not going to like that either.
Right.
So it's a really, really tough decision for a lot of guys that are right on the line. And man, I empathize because I went through that this year for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my brain goes to two things though when you think about it. With 10 guys missing weight, that goes under the assumption that those 10 for a fact, plus the guys like Mike who knew ahead of time that they would have to cut down a little bit harder than usual. How many guys are walking into those shows thinking, oh shit, don't worry about it. I'm going to get heighted in taller than I actually am. So that's going to be interesting going into the next year. What height, like Michael the
The
Bull?
bull.
Yeah, he missed weight. But does that mean he was always assuming that he was taller than he is and he competed in a bunch of shows like that, one pro shows like that? Is he going to come back and be able to win the same pro shows at a 7 pound or 10 pound lighter body weight? And then the other thought process goes to guys like Ben and I, where it's going to take me up until my damn cap to fill out my physique to look respectable to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Ben has mile wide clavicles, and it's a very different story. Where cool, he might be 227 on stage when he gets heighted incorrectly, or 234, whatever, but it looks drastically bigger. And then you have,
Yep.
and then there's Mike Sommerfeld, where you don't have
Yep.
that effect.
Yeah.
So where is it all going to go?
So one of the things that I think about while we're having this conversation is like, Jesus Christ, bug just flew right in my face. So we're gonna start that whole sentence over. One of the things that I think about is like people talk about like, oh, bodybuilding doesn't have the depth that it used to, and I think that this here is the prime example for this, because there's so many guys who are still forcing themselves into classic, right? That would have just been an open bodybuilder and just not placed as high in these other shows, but their physique would have still fit into the open. Then this was where we would get this wide variety of different looks. That's what there's a much more limited look in the open. You know what I mean? Because you have to get to such a big size structurally.
Mhm.
This year I'd argue that, like with how many guys stepped on stage who are now holding good shape and size. I mean, Jordan's a prime example. He was 12th. So that means there's, for whoever's opinion, 11 guys in the world who look better than him, and he's the 12th guy up there, and he's got shape, and he was 260 plus on stage, which is
Right.
massive. So like, we're now seeing guys who can do both. Orr's coming into the open now.
Right.
He's going to be the guy who can do both. I think it's going to be a driving factor to where now we're going to start seeing guys really focusing on staying aesthetic, keeping the waist tight, and getting as big as possible at the same time. And I think I'm excited for that personally.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with you, Connor. I think it's going to force people to stay within a certain window during the off season, which then is going to help with blood pressure. It's going to help with insulin resistance. It's going to help with gut health. It's going to keep the midsections tight, and potentially these guys will continue to even improve. Not knowing they could have if they had a higher weight cap, right? With that weight restriction. So it'll be interesting. Like, I'm also thinking about it too, like, okay, if Mike continues to have a rough time, or a lot of these guys continue to have a rough time to make weight, do we see a lot of these guys shifting to open, you know what I'm saying, and really taking this open class to another level? It may shift the dynamic of the standard of open. Who knows, we've seen another guy from 212, another guy from Classic moved to 212 just recently. I think from Brazil. I forgot his name. I'll pull him up. I'll pull him up and send it to you guys. But a guy just came from Classic because the weight cap moved to 212. He just announced it this year.
Diego, right?
Oh, it's another guy, man. They compared him to Ruff at one point.
Yeah, I saw it. I know who you're talking about. I can't think of the name.
I missed this.
Val guy with Callum.
There again. Something like that. Yeah. I know he's from Brazil, I believe.
Oh,
now I got to start looking for stuff.
Look, bro. Look, pull it up, bro.
What am I looking for? Val? Oh, Valentine. Oh, I know exactly.
Yeah, Beyond the Stage. I think Beyond the Stage posted it.
Yeah. No, I got it, man. I know.
So it's like we're starting to see, because in my opinion, a lot of good bodybuilders are in Classic Physique division. And now we're starting to see a shift with this. If they continue to be stern on this weight cap, we may start to see a shift, and a lot of these good bodybuilders shift over to 212 and open.
Yep. I mean, this guy's always had a great physique, so I mean, that'll be
awesome.
But there's another guy, bro.
There's a ton of them, man. Like, you just ultimately, like, either you're going to stop doing what we do, which is bodybuild, right? Like, you're going to have to just only lift for the sake of keeping the tissue around, and then be bored half the year, right? Stay shredded all the time, which, okay, that's kind of nice, but like, what kind of strain does that put on your body? But I think one of the things that we're going to see that these weight caps do, and with the shift of the open going a little bit more aesthetic, you're going to see people start to pump the brakes a little bit on how fast they're trying to make things happen. At least that's what I hope. Like, you know what I mean? Like, especially some of the bigger, like Martin, for example. Martin's in a spot where, like, he could just try and go absolutely apeshit and put on as much size as he possibly could, but could completely ruin his physique in the process. Or he could take the next 2 to 3 years to keep slowly climbing up and then slowly taking out these people that are ahead of him, right? Because he's got 4 people ahead of him right now. You know what I mean? And they're all huge. They're all way bigger than he is.
He's young too. I
Yeah.
don't think he's even 30 yet.
No.
Arguably could have been 4th place.
29.
Yeah.
Could have beat
29.
Samson.
I got to keep checking on my kid. Y'all do the thing.
You're good.
Yeah.
You're good.
Like, honestly, man, he could have. I mean, this is not classic, but he could have arguably beat Samson. I think they gifted Samson.
I thought so too. I think from that conversation, it's a stature type of thing where you'd have to be there in person, and just looking at a 6-foot frame next to a 5'8" frame, you can't deny 300 pounds. When 300 pounds is that conditioned, has that shape. Martin, I think if that a year or two down the road, if it's the same exact comparison, probably can edge him out if he has another 3 to 5 pounds on him.
Mhm.
Close
No,
enough.
definitely.
I think it was close.
He's gonna be dangerous in Prague too.
Oh,
That's gonna be fun with Keone.
Dangerous in Prague.
is that next weekend?
I had high hopes for Keone, man. Keone, my boy, man. I love you, bro. I love you, Keone. But man, hey, Martin is coming with that heat, man.
That's going to be a crazy lineup.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
I know. But what did everybody think
Dude.
overall about the Olympia and how it played out?
Which one?
The Olympia,
in general. Like, how did everybody think it played out? Was it fun? Not so fun? Like, what do we think about it all?
For the classic,
we had
or just overall?
Yeah, just overall. Yeah.
I had a blast. The first half of the week was stressful because I had a client in the amateur, but the rest of the week was great.
Yeah, I agree. As far as the outcome, like the placings and everything, it was just big takeaway for me was like anybody's beatable. Like everybody's human. Just looking at 212, seeing the outcome with Keone kind of having a little challenge there with Shaun Clarida, and then seeing Samson place 4th. We got a new bikini champion, man. It was a lot of twists and turns on that weekend, man. But overall, I think it was a good show.
Yeah,
I think that makes it exciting though.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I said that the other day of like, I think it's kind of boring to be like, all right, well, here's the guy that's going to win. Who else is coming in second? You know what I mean? Like, it's fun to like have these arguments of like, look, I mean, Jarek and I did a podcast with Terrence earlier this week and talked through it. And like both Jarek and I were like thinking that Ruff had it. You know what I mean?
We're in the crowd like, bro, Ruff got it.
And there's a lot of people who have said that. Like, and we're not alone on that. I've heard a lot of people say that they thought they had Terrence winning. I think there's some certain things and he's even spoke about it, some peaking things that they can do different and some posing things that he can do different, because he talked about how the back double shot, the way he did it, when he did it in the posing room, it looked great, but on stage he didn't like it. So now he's got to adjust things. And like, that's the kind of stuff you got to pay attention to if you're going to go to this level of competitiveness, you know, like if you're going to try and be an Olympian or even win a pro show or whatever. Like, those are the details you have to pay attention to, because the people beating you are paying attention to those things.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what their game plan going into this next show, because I mean, I don't know if you all know, probably Nick, you know, but Ruff doesn't use diuretics.
Yeah.
You know, so like I know one of his feedback was like need to kind of like dry out the back a little bit, but it could also be a posing issue.
Was that visually? Did you guys see that on stage in person, that he needed to be drier from the back? Because the pictures and everything I saw, I don't know.
I'm gonna be honest, I couldn't really tell. We were too far away.
Gotcha.
I didn't, to be honest with you. Yeah, and I was streaming the night show, but I was like where you were, Nick, like pretty far away prejudging. But just from the overall package, man, I thought he brought it. I mean, they all look great, minus Mike. We know Mike could have been better.
All right.
But
so here's an interesting question that just popped in my head. You know, one of the things that people are always saying is like, well, what's the difference between bodybuilding and classic? And like, for the most part, it is that classic is a bodybuilding with the weight cap. What do you guys think about if they introduced the posing routines as being part of your score for classic physique to win the show?
I think it makes more sense than the posing routines being part of the open guys score.
It's a part of the open guy score, right?
Yeah.
It's not. No.
No,
No,
It
posing
is.
routines aren't a part of anyone's score, other than the only girls who are scored on the posing routine are the fitness girls.
No,
The-
I believe. No, Connor's right. I
at the
believe.
Arnold they do. That's
Oh,
it.
okay, okay.
Just at the Arnold.
Okay.
So,
gotcha.
but,
So then
but
what are they judging at the night show? The second comparisons,
Yeah.
the final comparisons then?
Yeah, 100%.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I think in order to further separate bodybuilding and classic, put a 20% weight on their posing routine. It doesn't need to be 50% of the score. Like, I think that's a little bit ridiculous. But if the goal is to create a classic environment, let's make them make classic posing routines, right?
I would say that makes it more of a sport also,
Sure, for sure.
because it weighs in the creativity factor. Granted, the creativity factor is part of static posing anyway, but
Right.
Yeah,
how many guys are just going to drop off because it's not their thing, they're not good at it, they don't want to do it, or even the top guys in the world, if it gets judged, falling in placings because they might not be good at it or enjoy the posing aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be interesting at the very least.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Good
think.
question. I guess. Go ahead, Ben.
I was just gonna say, I think it's overall good to do that, to score it. I'm gonna slightly play devil's advocate.
Go for
Yeah.
it, bro.
Yeah.
I think it would open the door for more subjectivity.
Sure.
To where like this routine is better than that one. Like, I think we'd need to have a system on how to score it rather than I like that and not that, because that's kind of what they do sometimes. So yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I mean,
if you ask Muscle Discord, he'll just tell you to use ChatGPT. So
No comment.
For judging,
Look, hey, I'm gonna say this right now.
Terrence won.
I'm gonna say this right now. ChatGPT did say Terrence won the show. So just saying that the thing looking back at prejudging and finals, that the only place where I could really nitpick Ramon is he's still not posing that great, if I'm being honest. His back double looked awesome, but as vertical as he was on it, it doesn't give his back justice. It doesn't really give it the look that it needs. You know what I mean?
you probably only see that from the crowd, though. You'll never be able to tell that from photos, I don't think.
Yeah,
You mean?
As far as his posing.
Well, if for the back double being as vertical as you said he was, if it's not doing him enough justice, like I wouldn't be able to tell if he's too vertical in his back double if I'm looking at just a front on shot from a photo and whatnot.
I don't know. Let me find something.
I think they had
Let's do it.
I think the judges were trying to stray away from the leaning back too far thing,
Some
I
people
don't
take it too far though. They got
I don't think this isn't really the best version of it, but all three of these here are like he's really straight, he's really arced, and then he's bowed out the other way.
Yeah, I don't think I saw a photo like this because I stand completely corrected.
Yeah, see what I mean? Like he's really just like that spine is just rigid.
And even his foot placement I hate as well.
Yeah, and I do not like this here he's ending it well, but when he sticks his butt out and like lets his glutes not show striations, I cannot stand his back double like that. I think it looks terrible.
Yeah, I don't think Mike has the best back double.
No,
I'm just not a fan of his back double.
I'm personally not a fan of his physique.
Yeah,
let's go with that. Like I respect the fuck out of it, and I can subjectively look at it and be like, wow, that's great if you're checking off boxes.
Yeah,
but
for sure. Yeah.
Preferentially, I don't like it for classic.
Yeah, and that's okay. And that's okay. Like we all have our preference. I mean, Ramon Dino, he won the Olympia, right? I mean, but a lot of people don't like his physique. You know what I'm saying?
I would like Ramon's physique over Mike's.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, I mean, you could even, geez, we even want to go here. You could say the same about Derek. I don't think too many people were happy about that, but he won.
Yeah.
I've certainly heard a few things.
I think Ramon has improved his posing a lot.
It's better. It's better.
Just the presentation wise, coming out in his individual, the way he's transitioning, his flow, the way he's connecting the dots, taking his time and nailing the poses, not shaking as much.
That's a big thing.
Really good job.
He's definitely more polished this time. I will say that. I would say that this is one of the best years that he's had posing wise. But if we're looking at like again, classic physique being the category where people pose and move their body well, like Terrence is still the embodiment of that. You know what I mean?
Of course, yeah.
So
Absolutely.
bless you.
I'm coming for Terrence.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Terrence, I love you, bro.
So Connor, I kind of brought this up earlier before we started recording and whatnot. So you're now with the new coach, and the plan is to push into the higher levels of the pro ranks and stuff. What after watching the Olympia and seeing what is going on at the Olympia, there's 70 different guys that are on that stage. What do you think you need to do in order to crack into one of those guys?
Into any of those spots? I mean, first, now those spots are limited to 25, so I have to even be more realistic there.
No, false. So it's top 25 in points. If somebody's already done it, like if the rules had been applied to this year, there'd still be like 45 guys on stage.
Okay, so that's still a good number. So I like my odds better now. But no, realistically, for me to even push into shit talking about a top 5 at a pro show and then winning a pro show, 2 pro shows, first is going to be filling out the frame. Like that's something I've never done, and I'm on my way up there now. So we're going to see what that takes. Ben will attest it's going to be 90% legs that I have to bring up more than anything. And head judge Bill was very kind at both shows to tell me I'm small. So gotta make sure I improve on that. But outside of that, it's going to be shape with the legs, bringing up the legs, and then really just getting into that gnarly conditioning that I've never actually been deep into the hole for yet. So once the size is there and I can get right at that weight cap, I think I'll be competitive, and we'll see where the judges like it.
Nothing like some good pasty white boy check-ins in front of a white wall.
Yeah, we just moved.
Once you put on that density, bro, and you put on that muscle maturity, it's gonna be you probably have gotten that deep in terms of conditioning. You just don't have the muscle to show it, right?
Yeah.
So like the more muscle you do now, come next year, whatever, whenever you step back on stage, you'll be able to see that gnarly condition.
But the thing that you have that just kind of built in is your structure. Like you've got good structure. You know, if you just continue to fill in those gaps, like this is a physique that once it's filled in and then on stage in the condition and the peak that it needs, like this is gonna be really good, man, for sure.
Yeah. So. And I'll be clear too, like no AI was used, no cardio was done. There was very, very little pulling of fluid. So for all intents and purposes, like if you're putting this on paper, it's a very healthy prep. It really, really was.
I love it.
For everything that was utilized and not utilized.
That's what I like to hear. Because a lot of these athletes now, they are brainwashed. They feel like, hey, they're like, man, I'm using way less drugs this time around. It's like, you look better, bro. Like, why are we having this conversation?
Congratulations. You don't have anxiety out the ass. You can sleep well and you look better. Whoop-de-fucking-do.
You want to afford to pay for more? Like no one says that too. Like, I don't want to pay for it. So yeah, I'm happy if I'm taking less.
Yeah. You know?
Smashing all the Proviron instead.
Yeah.
Did we talk about that on the show? Sorry.
Yeah.
Talk about whatever, bro.
Jelly beans,
So Connor, who's your coach? I don't know if you guys mentioned that.
Yeah, so I just switched to working with Mike Nassif.
Oh shit!
Or is it Nassif? You said it differently earlier. Did I say
it's Nassif?
Right? I say it wrong then.
You're going to be in trouble now. You said it wrong.
Probably.
How long you guys been working together?
That's 9 weeks. 9 weeks and 30 pounds.
Let's go.
So I was working with Johnny Castellina prior, and him and I have a working history for coaching mentorship, and him and I worked together back in 2019. But Mike was moving back here to Tampa, and Mike has a bunch of ambition as a coach. And
for sure.
moving into this next phase of my career, I have similar ambitions. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna see what it looks like working with somebody on home turf, because Ben has that relationship with his coach, and I think that's been a huge catalyst for a lot of his success and growth. And then I was like, cool, let me line up with somebody who I've spoken to in the past. Mike and I have worked together in the past on some other things. I was like, let's see what it looks like working together with somebody on home turf and see what happens. And it's been 9 weeks of steady growth, so I'm happy so far.
I
I love
like
that, man.
Mike. Yeah.
What is something that you noticed differently about Mike versus Johnny?
Nothing.
Or has anything changed? Like
they're both really smart individuals. Like they both coach with a lot of education behind them, but then where I know Mike has ambition to push the envelope as necessary, Johnny has the experience of doing this for almost 20 years, where he's
right.
also able to assess and be like, okay, cool, this is where we push the envelope. So similar in so many ways, really. I couldn't sit back and tell you a specific difference, really. Not yet, at least.
Shout out to Mike, man. Mike is a really cool dude. He helped me with my gut a while back.
Mm-hmm.
When I first was started that gut journey.
Those are the fun ones.
Like I said at the beginning of this, it's interesting how all the good coaches are all doing the same thing. You know, like we're all doing the same thing, thinking very similar ways. There might be very minuscule differences. The difference between somebody being successful with us and not being successful with us is the relationship that you foster together. You know what I mean? Like it's a matter of whether or not you and that individual click, right? And not only can they like praise you in the way that you need, but they're also going to let you know when something's fucking wrong in the way that you need, right? Like some people just want it direct and just like straight up like, hey, you fucked up, you did this, right? Some people you got to kind of like move in that direction and go, look, this is what happened. You kind of got to walk them through that. And if you can't navigate that with an individual, that's going to be why you end up leaving them, not because they made, you know what I mean? For the most part.
Yeah.
Okay. Based on that, I can say a difference between Mike and Johnny right now. And no, this is nothing negative whatsoever, but that just triggered a thought process, because this was also something that led me to Mike. I've seen screenshots and conversations and seen how he interacts with his clients. And I know that he is a coach who wants to coach, right? So I wanted that. And I was like, I'm going to go work with that, because I want to be an athlete who's coached to be the best athlete I can be, right? Where Johnny, the only difference is Johnny's focus is a little elsewhere in his career right now. He coaches, he's fantastic at coaching. I will recommend him 10 out of 10 times. Yeah. But I do know him on a personal level. And I know where his mind is most excited. And it's around other things. So that's what I'm going to say the differences.
Makes sense.
That's fair enough.
Ben, what's the plan for next year?
Oh man. I'm gonna have a baby.
There it is.
With Connor?
Baby?
Yep.
What is it? Sorry, I missed it.
We're close, but not that close. Yeah.
Oh, no. We're not gay. No.
We just get naked on stage and pose for people.
No, but yeah, I mean, my wife is older than me, and you know, it's at that time for her, you know, so we're looking at doing that. And I've always wanted a kid, and like it's probably a couple years sooner than I pictured, but it's okay. I mean, you know, do that and then come back to it. I'm not really sure when. I don't want to put like a time on it because I don't know how long the whole fertility thing will work or take or anything like that. So I'm just kind of not really stressing about it. Ideally I would love to be back in 2027, just take a year to do this, but we'll see. I mean, I'm 27 years old, so I have time. So it doesn't really make sense to rush it right now. So
yeah, what's remind me asking, what are the protocols you're using right now to make it happen? Or
so we haven't really started too much yet. I literally just put 2000 I use the HCG Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and that's it for now. So we're just gonna try that and go from there, just sort of monitor things.
Okay.
I know Jarek will attest to this too, man, but having kids will change you a lot. You know, it's gonna change that motivation behind why you do everything. You know, like as mine is down here, like pestering me underneath the table. It's like he's using a camera cover lens to like roll up my leg, but like I wouldn't trade it for the world, man. And like, how old are you?
27.
Yeah, so that's the age that I had my son. So I was 27. I was 26 when I was told, and I was 27 when he was here. Yeah. And I can tell you right now, at 32, it changed my fucking life. I would not be where I am without him.
Funny enough that you say that, it's actually changed it already. because I know that that's, I mean, hopefully that's coming and that's my plan. Everything I do is a little different, like it sounds dramatic. I don't have one yet, but I'm just thinking of when that happens and what I'm going to have to do and be like to be able to have that as well as all the other things that I want in my life. So I didn't expect it, but once we sort of decided, yeah, we're definitely doing that, I just looked at everything differently. I was a better coach, better friend, better athlete. Like around the house, I'm like doing chores like nobody's business. Like everything's getting done. I'm just more productive and more focused, and I don't mind doing more because it just feels like it's for more than me. And
Mm.
I don't know, it's hit me already. So
Ben put one plate in the dishwasher and was like, look, I'm doing stuff around the house.
how do you know I run my house because my wife works all day?
He threw away the cookie wrapper that he had earlier and he called that chores. But no, that's great, man. It's really cool. I mean, yeah, you're definitely going to shift into that like provider mode where it's like, all right, there's something greater than me that I have to take care of, and that's not to sit here and put rose-colored glasses on it. It's going to be a fucking pain in the ass too. I can tell you that right now, but
I'm sure.
it's one of the it's a pain in the ass that you'll keep asking for. It's a little weird. I don't know how to explain it.
I get to play Uncle Connor in this whole relationship.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a phone call. Hey, come take your fucking nephew.
You cool with like 12-week periods, something like that? Just take it for 12 weeks.
That's your room. He's good.
That's good, Connor, because you get a little bit of practice, when it's
Oh
time.
no, we're not having kids, so he's got to pump at least 2 out, and then we'll be great aunts and uncles.
Okay.
I think I got the one. If I get twins, cool, but one, I think,
If you get twins, I essentially now have a child.
Yeah. But no, I mean, competitively, we want to go there, open or classic, because I've been asked that a couple of times. I don't know, really. I'm gonna see what my body does and how much I weigh and whatever. I'm not against the idea of moving to open. I love competing and everything about it, and I'm not gonna suck down to a class and look worse just to do it. So I don't know. We'll see what the weight is whenever it's time to do it again. And if it's looking like, hey, you're gonna have to lose 15 pounds, then no, I'll just stay.
Yeah, because I'm sure you're not gonna slow the break. Like you're not gonna put the brakes on this. You're gonna still be training hard. Still gonna be eating pretty relatively clean. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, like I don't want to slow down, like because that's not fun. It's like what we talked about earlier, where hey, I can't hit my I don't know, whatever, legs too much because they'll outgrow the proportions I'm supposed to be. I mean, yeah, for some people, if you really truly love that division and that's what you like doing, do it. But if you like bodybuilding and you want to do that, I think all those like fitting into classes, conversations, it just kind of defeats the purpose and people end up resenting it and they don't like it anymore. And some people even convince themselves that they hate bodybuilding because they had to fit in that division. Whereas if they just did it the way that they wanted to the whole time, they wouldn't end up hating it and leave it like that. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep doing it.
I think a lot of that also stems from like, for whatever reason, people still believe that if they get a pro card, that it's going to validate them as a human being. So they see men's physique and classic physique as an easier way to get the pro card. So there's a lot of people at like the national level and lower who are doing everything in their power to make themselves be a classic competitor when it's like, look, man, you're just a small bodybuilder. If you want to do this and you think you're going to try and go pro, stop fucking spinning your wheels, staying in a class that doesn't suit you. You know what I mean? Even if you can still make your weight, but you don't, you look like a refrigerator. Like this isn't classic. This division has shifted aggressively. Like the open has changed to like really good aesthetics. Imagine what the actual aesthetic class is doing right now. You know what I mean?
I don't know if you guys seen that post they posted on Instagram today where they compared 2016 top 4 to like 2025 top 4. Like drastic difference in structure, bro.
They'd have been like 6 call outs.
Oh my God.
What was that? That was Arash, Sadiq,
Breon.
Danny.
No, don't touch that.
Oh, what the heck's his name? This is terrible. He's the first one.
I know.
Danny Hester.
Danny Hester. It was an H. I couldn't think of the last name.
Yeah.
Dude,
that was
talk about a name. Talk about a name I haven't heard in a long time. Arash Ravar.
Right? Yeah.
Dude.
Earth.
He was one of the first guys that I was like, that physique is. I love the way his chest was shaped and all that stuff. Like
He was like a
the
brick.
dude. Yeah, I
He had
loved his structure.
sharp edges on every insertion.
Him and all those New Jersey guys. Well, all those guys, what I remember when I started. Ben
Yeah.
Francis Gym.
Yeah.
No, something I think that's going to be good though, if people can start getting their brain to understand, okay, cool, I'm supposed to be an open bodybuilder. I'm supposed to be a classic guy based on what they see in the mirror. It'll also be better for the younger generations because I'm also seeing a lot of people who's like, oh yeah, I'm going to bodybuild and I'm going to be a classic competitor before they're 150 pounds and they're having aspirations to be a classic competitor. And one, it's either not realistic for them, they don't fit into the classic bill. And then they put on a bunch of size, they take a bunch of gear, they realize they're not classic. Now they don't want to go to open bodybuilding because that's not what got them excited originally.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, even though I never had aspirations to be an open bodybuilder, and I'll just say that plainly, never. That was the shit I was following first.
Right.
So that was my first impression of all this, the freaks. And then Men's Physique came along, and I was like, oh, I can do that.
I was gonna say it. I wasn't gonna let you not say that.
It's a great point. It's a really good point because, like, I mean, prime example is my client Blake, right? And like Blake, when he did nationals for the first time, I had Branch Warren pose him, and Branch was like, you know who he reminds me of before he started drugs? Phil Heath. And like that hit really hard for me. Well, I had to ask Blake the next day at nationals while we're waiting to like get the show started. I was like, did you know who that guy was? He's like, not until today. He had no idea who Branch was. Not a fucking clue in the world. And
Yes.
then after he said that, I was like, well, do you now understand what that means for a guy who got second in the world at the Olympia to say that you look like a guy who got first in the world in the Olympia? And he's like, yeah. I was like, okay, all right, as long as you got that. And I've been telling him for a long time, is like he's not going to be able to fit in his weight cap for much longer. And I'm like, open is completely fine for you. There's not like just because you are aesthetic doesn't mean you can't be an open bodybuilder. And I think it took him some time of seeing guys like Samson, like Tonio, like Urs crossover, like see these guys who have an aesthetic structure go into a class like that and get rewarded for it. I think that started to kind of turn his wheels a little bit because he's already said like, let's get this pro card, then let's go to open. So
I mean, for him, it's different for sure, not knowing who Branch is, that's freaking wild, especially
dude,
competing at nationals.
it blew my mind.
No, but I'm noticing that more and more also.
Yeah.
Your generation not knowing the lingo, the know-how, even the names of some of the bigger shows, names of some of the athletes you should know present day in history, recent history. But damn, that's wild to not.
Yeah, I mean, Lee Haney made a post
Yeah.
just recently about that. And it's like, hey, man, the IFBB needs to do a better job. Just the organization in general needs to do a better job at highlighting these individuals like Branch Warren.
Do they?
And
Do
I don't
they?
know. This is what Lee Haney.
That's on the individual. That's not the IFBB's fault.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like I hear you. I get what you're saying, and I know why somebody would say that, but like that's not on the IFBB. That's on the individual. And I think the thing that we're seeing right now in our generation is these people, like, we are finding ways to stay active in it outside of being a competitor. The problem with a lot of the guys in previous generations is all they were was a bodybuilder. Somebody came in and recorded them and did that kind of stuff. And then once they were no longer on stage, they were no longer relevant. I'm not saying that about Branch or anything like that, but that's what these kids attach themselves to, is people who have a presence online. And like, yeah, we see Branch's shit and we're like, yeah, fuck yeah, that's cool. But it's because it's what we grew up with. They're 19 or 20-year-old watching these kids that like say these weird phrases and shit. You know what I mean? Like
7? I have no idea what the fuck that means. But I will say, similar point, it's also on the industry. Because now, where you had Muscle and Fitness magazine, all the magazine covers, you had Muscle Tech as a huge company, all the BSN, whatever. Their main guys that they paid a lot of money to were the freaks of bodybuilding. Now, younger generation, these bigger companies, whatever the supplement companies, clothing companies now, their main guys are some pretty boy on Instagram with 2 million followers because he has a nice structure and weighs 155 pounds.
He's relatable.
Relatable. That's the one where I was missing.
Yeah,
It's not even just that. It's like if they can move the needle on sales, like at the end of the day, that's what
yeah,
matters to the business.
for
So
sure.
like
Yeah.
if you get like, for example, now like Urs, I mean, Urs is now an open bodybuilder, but was a classic bodybuilder. I mean, he now has stake in ESN. Are we gonna keep going here? He's just rubbing my head. He now has stake in ESN because of how much how many sales he was bringing in.
Well,
Like they couldn't compensate him anymore, so they had to give
Crazy. I
him
didn't even know
fucking
that.
they had to give him ownership in the company. So
it's wild.
yeah, it's ridiculous.
That
So it's
bumps
like
it.
yes, I hear you that it is the industry, but at the same time, if I start a business, I'm going to someone who's going to help make sure my business makes money. So
Oh,
I don't care if they're open or classic or whoever, just make sure I make my fucking money.
yes. And that part, I completely agree. Business is business. I'm not putting it on the industry's fault. I'm not saying
Right.
it's the fault itself,
Right.
because business is business in that sense. But it's how the industry currently is, and it's
Sure.
how the younger generation are being introduced to that industry by these influencers being the sponsored athletes by the big companies versus the bodybuilders.
But I'm gonna play devil's advocate, of course.
Go for it.
And Ben, you can chime in here in a minute. Do you think that I understand what both of you guys are saying, but do you think that there is some responsibility for the league to push our Olympians a lot harder? I mean, if you look at these other sports, you know what I mean? And yeah, we always bring it back to, hey, look at this sport, look at this sport. It's not quite the same, but when we're talking about likeness and we're talking about who's representing the organization, should the organization have some responsibility in pushing the athlete?
Some.
You know what I mean?
Some.
Or it's like, oh, do your thing. You're an Olympian. Cool. I hope you do great on social media. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What would you advocate for?
Possibly tours, international tours funded.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe giving them requirements, right? If you're an Olympian, you're required to do this. You're under a contract for whatever the term may be, and this is what you need to do for the organization, right? I don't know, just an idea.
I don't disagree that, that would be a good thing. Just another thing to throw in there.
I mean, we just paid you $600,000. Can you please show up in China, motherfucker? You know?
Yeah.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
But like, this is just digging deeper. Which people would we support? Like, is there, because, Classic had a ton of people, right? Like, are we going to support top 10, top 15, the whole 60? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Then we're making it though. Every other sport, NBA has a store, MLB has a store, NHL has a store. Take the top five from every category at the Olympia and just put their merch up on a website, put their posters up at the bigger IFBB shows to at least put their faces in the rooms with all the fans and stuff.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be anything extreme, but definitely I would say in agreement, like IFBB, show that you give a shit about the top five category.
Well,
made you a ton of money this year.
So I think that's what Lee Haney was trying to allude. He was just letting everybody know, like, hey, it's not solely the industry that needs to step up, but can they do better? That's a different conversation. Like, do they have room to do better?
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
They can always do better.
They always could, right?
Well, the thing here is the first push, it's not even pushback, but the first thing they need to fix is starting the fucking show on time. Like, let's start there before we start adding. Let's start there before we start adding other things to their fucking plate, because the show was supposed to start at 7. It didn't start till 8:30. Like let's
stay at home, Dad. I get it.
Like, let's get this under control before we start adding other things to their plate, right? Like, let's just do that.
It was finals.
It wasn't that long. I think it was closer to like an hour. It was almost like it was supposed to start at 7. I think it started at like almost 8.
It was close.
Yeah. And like, look, we all know, like, you can't peak an athlete well for that. Like, there's no way to kind of deal with that contingency, and you're just adding stress. And again, the thing that I've said about a number of different things about like the weight caps, about people's heights and all these different things, is the goal at the end of the day should be making sure that the athletes are able to bring their best look.
Yep.
Because that's what's going to push the show. the athletes looking as best they possibly can be is what's going to make things go better.
Yeah.
So if that is as simple as starting the fucking show at 7 when it's supposed to start at 7, like I don't like how are we missing this?
You're very
How are we missing
that is bottom of the barrel, the very least.
Yeah, that's the least we could do better, right?
Yeah, like, and look, I understand if like somebody's running late, they know where they are, whatever, but like we can figure that out.
Like
There's
5,
things
10
we
minutes. Not
like.
an hour.
Who is so important that they have to wait 45 fucking minutes for them? Are the judges not there? I doubt it. Are the competitors not there? There might be a couple. Like we can get the show started, I promise. Like
Yeah, now I'm asking, what the fuck?
What?
Gotta get us banned, bro. We didn't even start this podcast that long. You about to call Nick.
Yeah. If my clients start doing worse, I'm gonna have to stop talking so much. But anyways,
That's hilarious.
welcome back. But yeah, so what were you guys' thoughts about the Olympia? I think me and Jarek spoke a lot there, but I didn't really hear y'all's thoughts on it.
Ben, go for it.
Hey, well, if we're going to Classic, I definitely had Terrence. Not to agree with you guys, but I did. And when they did third, you kind of saw his face like, huh? I felt that too. I was like, what? So Ramon, like, I can settle for that for sure. But like, not to shit on Mike, I just see that as third out of that 3. I don't see that as second. I definitely don't see it winning. I don't even truly remember 4th and 5th, to be honest. You can maybe bump it down 5.
Josema and Niall.
Yeah, Josema and Niall.
Yeah, Niall, I don't know what he looked like
Yeah.
specifically, but
He looked crazy is what he looked like.
Yeah, I mean, but like that's where the judging for Classic is just so frustrating because Niall, I love that look, right? And then Mike, I don't. So like where, like in between, what are we looking at? I'm not saying they're wrong. I just want to hear the argument because it's like I just don't see it, you know? So I don't know about you guys with that.
I think with Mike coming in, having a hard time making cap, it really exposed a lot of his weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
Had he been able to fill out and not worry about a cap, I think it would be a different story. Because, I mean, let's be honest, y'all. Like, he was pushing Chris last year. Let's not forget that.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you like his physique or not, when you stand him side by side, like, you were like, oh, shit, hold up.
Yeah.
Mike is pushing this motherfucker. Like, so I think it's just that this year, like, it really exposed his shape and structure because he was able to fill out.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And I mean, that's what it is, right? It's just the day of what we saw.
Yep.
It's not what he can be, but within the weight and everything like that, I don't know that he can bring that again. If they
he's not the same imposing figure at 204 that he was at 212.
Not even close.
And so we have our answer of like, can he be as good with a weight cap? No, apparently, obviously not, because I mean, he lost the Olympia after winning the Arnold with a handicap, right, of having to be lighter. So it's like, yeah, no, I don't think he can.
Yeah.
So
I agree with that.
we're gonna see.
I'm gonna agree with all 3 of you guys on the Classic judging as well. But definitely, I watched pre-judging from the gym mid lift, and every time I looked over, I had Terrence winning.
So since we'll close out here because we're a little over an hour now, but what do you guys think about Terrence? He's already qualified because he got top 3. What do you guys think about him continuing to compete from here? Like he's doing a show in Brazil this weekend, and then he's doing Prague the weekend after. What do you guys think about that?
If you feel good, fuck it, go grab a couple checks.
I think it was.
I think it's great.
I think 2 things. It's a good business move because he has a lot of Brazilian fans.
Stop.
And then 2, he's already in shape. I mean, his shows are not too far apart. So why not just close out the year with Prague? And then also make a statement like, hey, this should be the champion right here. You know what I mean? So I think he made a good decision with closing out his season on a high note. And then from a business standpoint, which is not talked about a lot, and maybe Ruff can talk a little bit more next time we have him on the podcast about the business side of things. But I think that's extremely important. We got some of these athletes got to start making business moves too.
Yeah.
No, it's just a part of setting yourself up for when you're done with the stage.
Plus, at the same time, with the new rules for the year, this is the fucking chopping block. He's taking away 2 wins potentially.
Exactly.
He's taking away a qualification from one person because they could have gone to both shows and won both. You know what I mean? That there's a qualification for the year. So I mean that's one less competitor on stage. So I honestly think that we're going to see other competitors who are already qualified follow suit and do the same thing. I think we end up seeing a number of names get chopped off the list because they couldn't beat somebody who was above them on the Olympia stage.
Yeah, I agree. And that's good.
Olympia competitive as it should be.
Yes, agreed. If you can't stack up, don't get on the stage, you know.
And the thing I've said the past few months is who the fuck walks off any stage and says, yes, I was 64th. What is 64th place? I don't care if you're 64th in the world. What is that? Like maybe
I think when it gets to about like the 20th, they're like, I'm Olympian.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about
this.
I saw it all from the side.
They got the little thing that says participant. You know,
I haven't seen any bios with like 44th place Olympian. You know,
well, that's because they stopped judging after 16. So it's like, hey, I got 16th. Yeah,
I got 16th in Texas. So
yeah, right. So technically, they could claim that they're the 16th best bodybuilder in the world with like 40 other people. But anything else, fellas?
I'm good.
That's funny. I appreciate y'all, man, for coming on, man, blessing the podcast.
Yeah, 100%, man. This was a good chat, man. I'm excited to see Ben. I'm excited to see what you do after having kids and whatnot. And Connor, I'm curious to see what you and Mike can do in the next season.
Yeah, we're gonna see how big I get.
Yeah, Connor, you're doing 2026, right?
I want to go back to Texas and see if I can aim for a top 5 there. But it's going to depend on how quickly I grow. Right now, we're ahead of schedule. So if I can continue with a smooth process like this, that's going to be the goal.
Yeah, I think we're both in the same boat, man. So we're gonna see how things play out. Austin and I got on the call a couple days ago, and he was really blown away by the progress so far. And similar boat, man. We're just like growing, holding good composition, and he doesn't want to slow that down. He doesn't want to stop that. We want to kind of just milk it out. So we're probably thinking about reassessing after the guest posing in December, see if we can milk out a little bit more, see how I look on stage under the lights, see what we need to bring up, what we need to continue to improve on, and then probably do something like start a prep sometime next year. Yeah, so we'll see.
Maybe we'll cross paths on stage.
That'd be dope.
I'll take some notes on how to post.
I got you, bro.
You guys want to plug your Instagrams right quick so people can follow you?
Oh, Ben, go for it, bro.
Is Ben_huge. It's super easy to remember.
Not Hodge. Huge.
Mine is classic with a K _ Kovacs. You can guess on how to spell that, and I appreciate the follow.
That the way you did your Instagram name still makes me want to spell Connor with a K every fucking time. I'm just gonna go ahead and let you know on that.
Dude, and I've known him 6 years.
Don't you say that, Ben.
All right, boys. Well, for anybody who is still watching at this point, make sure you do the YouTube thing, like, subscribe, share with your friends, leave some comments down below. We'll catch you on the next episode.